What about me?
You do not find good men right. Very watched out. Have not. They're dead.
Just time. And a minute.
You do not find.
You do not know. What about? And a minute. What about? Things are now in motion.
We do not.
You do not know pain. You do not know.
I'm gonna.
Just Tetris. As time. And a minute.
You do not find.
Just keys through down my enemy. What about? Things are now in motion.
We do not.
You do not know pain. You do not know.
I'm gonna.
want nobody, and I don't want nobody. You got that right. And I don't want nobody. I lost. Want nobody, and I don't want nobody.
Jail never need.
You got that right. And I don't want nobody.
Drop. I lost.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But if that's
And I don't want nobody.
jail,
Extra work for you got that right. The iron arm. And I don't want nobody.
ice drop. I lost.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But if that's
And I don't want nobody.
jail,
Extra work for
I was dancing. I could close.
and I don't want nobody.
Mother make the mice ice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But if that's
And I don't want nobody.
jail,
Extra work for you got that right. And I don't want nobody.
mother make the mice ice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But if that's
And I don't want
jail,
extra work for you got that right. Right.
ooh,
But I'm girl, fool? Make the mice ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's what if I don't got you, fool? Damn. Extra work for you. You got that right. I could close, so want nobody. Make the Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's just hop on my extra jam. Extra work for don't want jam. Got that right. Not you, fool. Make the mice ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's what if I don't just hop on my jam. Extra work for you got that right. I could close, so want nobody. Make the Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's and I don't want what if I don't jam. Extra work for don't want jam. Got that right.
Is it you fuck why and I'm die on is it you see on is it you see on fuck why and I'm die on fuck why is it you see on fuck why and I'm die on fuck why it's I sit out the ring I was good I want it's I sit out the ring.
Hey folks, I thought it's high time I start making some videos that show you how to remix movies yourselves. I get a lot of requests on a daily basis, and it seems to me like people are dying to know how to do this stuff themselves. In this video, I'm going to show you how to open up a DVD and how to record from the surround sound channels using a Mac.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't want no jam. Make the mice. Make the mice ice. Make the mice ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's and I don't want jam. Extra work for you. Got that right.
Now I'm doing this on Mac in this video because I found this much more difficult to figure out. There's a few things you have to be aware of with OS X and this sort of thing. First thing you're going to need, obviously, is you're going to need a DVD of the movie you want to remix. Don't torrent it. Go out and buy it. Do the right thing. You're also going to need a sound card that has multiple outputs. The reason you want multiple outputs is because you need an interface that allows you to play the film in 5.1 surround or 7.1 or whatever it is. You also want to make sure your sound card has a loopback function because you need to be able to record the audio out of a media player like VLC or Media Player Classic. I'm using VLC for this video. Once you've got your sound card plugged in and set up and ready to go, you want to go into the audio MIDI setup of Mac OS X. This is the kind of universal control center in OS X of all the audio routing and MIDI setup and inputs and outputs and that sort of thing. So it's in audio MIDI setup that you're going to select that you do want to have 5.1 surround on your Mac, and you're then going to have to route the individual surround channels to the outputs of your sound card. Now, it may seem redundant that we're setting up outputs because we're not actually really outputting from the sound card to surround sound speakers. What you're doing is you're basically just enabling OS X to catch the surround channels from something like VLC or I think DVD player as well, so that you can then route those channels back into the loopback function of your sound card. I go into the mixer controls for the sound card and I make sure that the output channels are routed to the loopback channels of the sound card, so that when I record in Audition, I just have to go into Audition settings and tell it to record from channels 7 and 8, which are the loopback channels of the sound card. Now I go back into the audio MIDI setup of OS X and I tell it to route just the center channel through one of those loopback channels, and I make sure that all the other surround channels are routed somewhere else. What I'm always looking for is vocals that have a certain note to them, a certain harmonic quality, so I don't have to do any tuning or anything that's going to make the vocals sound artificial.
But go with
Everybody up. Everybody. Everybody up. Everybody up.
Dad made it sound and goes chop and Dad made it sound and goes chop and Dad made it sound.
I'm looking for syllables that happen to strike a linear harmonic, or a note, in other words. And I don't want it to sound, like the vocal cords are tense. I want them to sound kind of relaxed, which is why I don't use my voice in my mixes, because it's nasal and annoying. But I'm also looking for chords, and I'm also looking for sound effects. I'm looking for chords that I like the sound of, that I think are musically pleasing. And I'm looking for sound effects that are free of background noise and free of other noise that I would otherwise have to go in and manually remove. There is the odd occasion where a vocal has, strings in the background, or a humming noise from a bit of Foley or something like that. Audition allows you to remove these sorts of things quite easily by going into the spectral view, where you can actually see those background notes and you can manually paint them out. And it's usually a relatively easy procedure. You can also get plugins that do sort of the similar sort of things, like Isotope RX2 for noise reduction and that sort of thing. But I tend to shy away from noise reduction plugins because I find they kind of deteriorate the sound more than anything else. Once I've got all my samples, it's now just a case of going into FL Studio or Ableton Live and piecing them together in a way that makes sense. I can't really tell you how to make music. I can't really tell you how to piece sounds together in a musical way. It's really just something you have to feel out, and I do emphasize the word feel. I don't think you should think music into existence. I think you should kind of let it come together in its own way. Michael Jackson once said, you need to get out of the way of the music, and I think it's a very good little comment. I certainly agree.
戻り事を働かなきゃな。働かなきゃな。戻り事を
So there you have it, folks. That's more or less the gist of how I record samples from a DVD on Mac. VLC is free. The Focusrite Sapphire Pro 14, I think, goes to around 200, 250. The other great thing about this card is that if you're using more than one pair of studio monitors, the card facilitates that. You can plug in quite a number of speakers into this simultaneously. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for the support, and I hope to see your remix on the web in the near future.
Hi guys. I wanted to show you how to use Ableton to work with video, kind of like the Pogo movies or the Danthology remix mashups that we've been seeing. What you can do is get a movie, a .mov file, and drag it into the arrangement view. And once it's in the arrangement view, then you can chop out the parts that you'd like. And what we are going to do is then you can put them wherever you'd like and work that way, just strictly in the arrangement view. Or you might take them, drag them all. You can see I've recolored them so I can keep track of it a little better. I hit Control and chose a different color so I would know what color they are, and then I drag them and place them into the session view. I'm putting them all in one track in the session view because with the video it seems like only one thing plays at a time. So this way, when they're all in one track, I can only play one at a time. but I could have as many tracks as I would like, and then I would just use the arrow key on the push to navigate where my clips are. But you can see here are all my clips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this right here to 16th notes. That will allow me to maybe glitch them really quickly if I would choose to do so. And so to record myself playing these video clips, I'm going to hit this dark circle. It's going to record into the arrangement view, and it'll okay, I have no idea what this is going to look like, but you get the gist of it. Hit the tab button, go back and forth. All right, so I cleared out the original video because only one thing can play at a time. And so now we'll take a look at it. I got to hit the top secret button to make it bright. And here you can see all the parts. That's why I colored them, so you could tell what comes from what. And let's watch that. All right. So I think you get the idea. These all have the music that came with the video. And in the Pogo ones, he is actually wanting the characters to say what they're saying. So you might have the music playing. But other times you might chop the music out. So you could use the mute button to let the music not be heard, and then you could have your own track of music underneath this. So I hope you experiment with it and have a lot of fun.